Hi, Internet people. So, it was a Riverdale holiday this week on the Riverdale show. So it was Pickens Day, which apparently celebrates the founding of Riverdale, which is actually terrible. Like, the whole situation gets terrible. Because we learned a lot of stuff about Pickens Day they don't teach in school. Because, as Tony Topaz says, the whitewashing of history totally happens. It's a thing. People don't bring it up. But they're celebrating Pickens Day. There's gonna be a fair. Everyone's involved. Because the lodges, including Veronica, who's getting very, very involved in the family business, and it kind of frightens me a little bit how involved she is, says they should actually have like a big thing because they're gonna make it connect to the project, it's gonna get support, this whole big thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a terrible idea. They invite the serpents by saying they can be security, which is not inviting them, like that's just weird. So they're going to have this giant festival. While all that is going on, Archie and Veronica's dad Highr'd are having this weird like mano-y-mano contest of masculine nonsense with each other, where Highr'd hates Archie because he's Fred's kid, and he also doesn't want him around Veronica because, okay, it's because Fred slept with Hermione, he knows that, and he's like, your father cheated, da-da-da-da. Whole big thing. Hates Archie altogether, doesn't want him around Veronica, which leads to like weird wrestling happening where like they wrestle and Highr'd takes down Archie, and it's weird, like it's exceptionally weird. Like at no point should he be allowed to show wrestling moves on high school kids. Like that's not a thing. Even if he's the biggest sponsor of the wrestling team ever, it's not a thing that Highr'd should be allowed to do. So like that's this whole thing where like Highr'd and Archie are like being weird, and then Highr'd's telling Archie how much he hates him, and then they go jogging, and then they have breakfast, and then they build this weird trust that I don't like, and it's weird and not okay. I will get into that more. I guess I could just talk about it now. I never talk about these in order anyway. So like Highr'd and Archie are now like, Archie is gonna intern for Highr'd because he tells Highr'd he wants to go into business in college, which is totally a lie. And then Archie ducks a call from the FBI agent, and I was like, is this you going undercover? Is this you being dumb? Like, what are you doing, Archie? Because I had some weird issues with Archie's plot. One, the guitar was back, and then he was not playing the guitar. And then two, Archie suddenly became like a magically good wrestler, and I was like, how? You were terrible at the beginning. So bad. And it's only been like 2 days, Archie. Like, you're not magic. Like, you can't just be like, I'm gonna learn to wrestle today. I'm gonna learn to wrestle today. And like, do that. That doesn't happen. So I don't know. I was like, he shouldn't be able to beat him. That shouldn't happen. But it leads to a weird Highr'd-Archie dynamic that I dislike a lot. Yeah. So that's happening. Veronica, while dealing with Archie and her father, because she kind of figures out what's going on, she's also like gonna do a duet with Josie at the fair, the Pickens festival, whatever it is. It looks like a fair. There are maple syrup snow cones, which sound awful. Like, is it just maple syrup on a snow cone? Because syrup is great on pancakes, waffles, French toast. Just over ice, it seems a little weird, like, whatever, okay. But they're supposed to perform a duet with Archie playing guitar. Archie drops out, so it's gonna be Josie, Veronica, and I guess just the two of them. Well, it was like them and the Pussycats, I guess, but Archie was also gonna play guitar. I wasn't quite solid on how that performance was gonna go, because of Val and Archie. Like, why would she agree to play with that? Whatever. I know they like made up, but I still was like, I feel like that'd be a lot of people. They're supposed to do stuff together, but Mayor McCoy winds up not letting Josie perform. Not because the lodges are freaking Mayor McCoy out, because she actually reveals to Josie everything the lodges do and how she dislikes that Veronica is involved in the business so much. No, it's because of something Jughead did, which is actually, it's the whitewashing of history element. So Jughead decides to write an expose about Pickens and the Blossoms and the history of Riverdale, and what's odd in all of this, not odd exactly, but like, it's totally stuff that happens. Like American history is built on the destruction of Native peoples, which is terrible, But I was like, why do none of you think that happened here? Like, the whole time I was like, you're surprised that terrible things led to the creation of your town? What? So Jughead had been interviewing Tony's grandfather, and he winds up saying that the serpents are actually related to, they're this like far off offshoot of this Native American tribe that used to live in the area, and they were all killed by Pickens on behalf of the Blossoms. The Blossoms hired him to get rid of them so the Blossoms could get the land because they wanted all the stuff. Well, Jughead writes his expose, winds up talking about Tony's grandpa in it. Tony is upset because she's like, this is not your story to tell. Like, it doesn't matter that the serpent somehow came out of this. Like, these are Native people. You are not the teller of their stories, Jughead. So he goes and apologizes to the grandpa, but then that spurs on an event with the serpents at the Pickens Fair. Festival. Whatever. I keep calling it a fair. It looks like a fair. I'm pretty sure it was a festival. I'm using them the same way. I'm sorry. It's just happening. But that leads to an event there, which I'm going to get to because I'm going to go into Betty, Chick, and Alice's plot. Also, Mama Blossom still doing what she wants to do. She also makes some shady plans, go into action. Apparently also the Blossoms used to run a brothel, and she's fine with that, which is whatever. It's cool. I don't care. Whatever she wants to do, it's up to her. But Alice has been like super, super perky all the time because Chick is there. And I'm like, oh, that's great, but kind of weird, but great. But Chick, it turns out, is a cam boy. Like, he does video stuff to make money, and Hal finds out after Betty finds out. So Betty finds out from Kevin, but then we find out that when the reason Chick got beat up is because Marcel, the owner of the hostel, would set people up with clients. Chick didn't want to work. Marcel got pissed off, attacked him. But when he goes back, Marcel has sold all of his stuff, so now he has none of the stuff he needs to like make a living. So he's pissed at Betty. Betty winds up giving him a new computer and camera, so she shows that she knows what he does. Hal then also finds out what Chick does. When he confronts Chick about it at the fair, Alice is like, whatever, like Alice gets mad at Hal and says she'll throw him out again because she's not dealing with this. And then that's a whole big thing at the fair. The fair is a big plot point element. So that happens, and then when Hal is pissed off, Mama Blossom goes and talks to him and is like, hello, Hal. And so she's gonna get with Hal and do things, shady things. There's also the performance that happens. It's Veronica and the Pussycats, because she's getting back at Josie for dropping out and for Josie's mom being shady about her family, which her family is doing illegal things. Like, I don't know how she doesn't get that. But she performs. During the performance, the serpents, and I did not want to try and say the name of this tribe. I didn't know if it was real or not. I didn't want to screw it up. I could have Googled it. I didn't. But the serpents and then members of the Native American, like descendants of that Native American tribe, they do a sort of silent protest. A lot of them, like Jughead and some of the other serpents, have duct tape over their mouths and they're holding signs. Tony then says we should honor the people whose land this was, like she's talking about stuff. Highr'd takes the mic, like he has a mic, Tony just had a megaphone. He starts saying like, this is such a great town where people can talk about all the blah 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 blah. It's like the phoniest, like, everyone be calm, it's fine speech ever. Jughead rips the tape off his mouth, goes to like get at Highr'd, I guess, and then Tony's grandpa's like, no, and pulls him back, and I'm like, go grandpa, because Jughead was half cocked right there. So that happens at the fair. Yeah, there's a lot at that fair, because Josie sees that, Josie's pissed, like, all of this stuff happens. Then, on top of all of that, and everything else, Chick and Betty start bonding because he says he does this cam stuff because it helps distance him from the darkness, and someone, I forget which, I thought it was Betty, said, like, and these other characters, so I'm wondering if Chick, like, is different people online. She said personalities, so I don't know if, like, Chick uses his darkness to be different people online, and that's why there's elements of Dark Betty, like if he also has this like darker persona that is inside of him. But Betty wants Chick to teach her what he does. So I don't know if that means Betty is going to be a cam girl or if she's gonna like experiment with recording herself as Dark Betty. I don't know, because we see her in the trailer or in the preview for next week in Dark Betty gear. Like, she has the wig on and the top. So I have no idea what is gonna happen there, but it seems not okay, really. Like, a lot of not okay things are happening in Riverdale. So who knows? But there was a lot. Also, the serpents don't have to wear uniforms anymore. They're just dressed like normal people, which I appreciate. So they at least got rid of that stupid, they're gonna wear uniform situation. But there you go. So lots of stuff. I like this episode in that there was a lot of stuff happening. I just thought it was curious that no one in Riverdale had, like, looked into the history of Riverdale before. Like, I don't know how they didn't know. Like, we killed a bunch of people. Like, that seems like something you would know. And I want to know, this is gonna, because they, like, mention horror movies all the time. Now I, like, was like, is this gonna go, like, poltergeisty and, like, the land is cursed or something? Like, is something shady gonna happen? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts about this episode of Riverdale in the comments below or over on Twitter. I am at ClefNotes. You can find me on my blog, clefnotes.wordpress.com. I write for the Nerdy Girl Express, thenerdygirlexpress.com, and Erin their Snapchat, the Nerdy Girl EXP. Bye, Internet people.